All right, welcome back to Coffee Cafe Week 2. So, where we last left off is we just acquired our truck. Okay, we bought it and we acquired a loan for it. Okay, so here's our journal entry. So, this is where we last left off. Here is we are going to be needing to plug our now that we have a truck, right? What do we need now? We need to buy some auto car insurance. So here, as you can see here, let me shrink it for you. So this is what it says here. It says that you decided to buy a 12-month auto insurance policy, okay, from AAA Auto Insurance Company. All right, and it's going to be for contract number 5877411. All right, for a full coverage with emergency roadside assistance. All right, for a total amount of $2,400 for the entire year. Monthly payments of this insurance plan is going to be $200 per month, due on the 5th of every single month. Issue a check to be payable for coverage for June. Use check number 1509. Okay. So we already discussed what the plan is, right? What kind of plan that we want, but we're making monthly payments on this plan. So how am I going to record this transaction? Okay, first off, we're going to be starting on General Journal, page 2. Okay, so what did I buy?
That's page 3.
Oh, yeah, page 3, excuse me. What did I buy?
You bought insurance. No, you bought a truck.
Well, the first thing we did was buy a truck.
Oh, yeah, you bought insurance.
We bought insurance for the truck, right? So do we have a account for that?
Yes, you do.
Yes, we do, right? We're going to use insurance expense account, okay? Right? Insurance expense for $6,400. And how did I pay for this insurance?
With the check.
With a check, so I'm going to go ahead and use my checking account to write my check. Okay? So in this case...
But you also use your prepaid as well.
In this case, no, I did not use my prepaid.
You didn't use it? Oh, okay.
Because in this case, we discussed what the yearly plan is, right? It's going to cost you a total of $2,400. However, they said that you can make monthly payments.
Okay.
So in this case, I'm not paying for car insurance in advance. I'm only paying monthly insurance, right? That's usually typically of how insurance plans go for auto insurance, right? You form a plan, and with that plan becomes adjustable, right? So maybe this month you may not need those services here, and then of course you pay every single month for car insurance, right? But the total amount is that you're paying for the entire year plan, or the plan that you came up with was to cover for you for a whole year. You're just making monthly payments on them. That's the difference here. There's no prepaid here. Okay? All right, so in this case, we are making an insurance expense, and we are paying with a check. Okay? Okay, for the grand total amount of how much?
For
2,400.
Okay, so in this case, it says right here, monthly payments of $200 are due on the 5th of every single month. Okay, so therefore, issue a check to pay to the coverage for the month of June. Use check number 1509. So how much am I really paying?
200.
We're only paying $200 because we're only paying for the current month, so $200. Okay? So therefore, we need to cut ourselves a check, right? So we said we're going to be using check number 1509 for the 8th here for $200. To whom?
AAA auto insurance.
And it's going to be for monthly auto insurance. Okay. Okay. So therefore, right, I have my check number 1509. So I should have enough information to go ahead and process the rest of the description, right, to finish up my journal here. So in this case, who did I receive the auto insurance from?
AAA Auto.
AAA Auto Insurance Company, right? What was my what was proof of my insurance plan?
Contract number.
Your contract number, which is 5877411. Okay. Whatever you want to say, you could say a 12-month insurance plan, right? 12-month insurance plan, monthly payments, monthly payment for June. Okay, and you wrote check number 1509 as proof that you made a payment for the insurance coverage for the month of June. Okay, 1509. Okay. So now that my description is completely filled in, right, I now need to go to my ledger because once again, I spent more money. Okay, so in this case, I need to go to my ledger. Okay, and you're gonna copy everything exactly how you journalized it, right? So I need to go to insurance expense.
When did we do the check registry? Right after, no?
What do you mean when? And what do you mean by right after? We do it in between the journal because we
Oh, in
need,
between?
yeah, because we need to get the check number.
Okay. Oh, okay. I got that right there.
Okay. So let's see, insurance. Right here is business. Here's insurance. Okay, so I have another insurance policy on here. But this time, this is for auto insurance, not a liability insurance. So auto insurance for June. Okay. We are now on our third journal, and I paid $200. So therefore, that should increase your insurance by $200. So grand total balance should be $395.83. Okay. Right? And now, right, because we spent money, we wrote another check. We need to now go ahead and update our checking account because we cut another check. So that means money's going to come out of my checking account. So we have today's date, right? If you bought a car, you should buy auto insurance right then and there. So in this case, what are we going to put here? The check number 1509. We are now on General Journal page 3, and I spent $200 more. So in this case, your amount's going to go down to $7,800. and $2.42. Okay? Because I spent more money. Okay? So here I went from journal to ledger, and then now I need to post to my subsidiary ledger because I dealt with an insurance company, right? I need to make sure that I know exactly what my contract details and what I have there to offer. So in this case, you're going to locate them under letter T here. Okay, that's Valley Delivery Service, AAA Auto Insurance right here. Okay. Today is the 8th, and what did you do? You got auto insurance, 12-month policy, 12-month auto insurance coverage with roadside assistance, but making monthly payments of $200. Okay. And then of course you want to make your first, excuse me. And you also want to make your first check. You want to put your check number for the payment of the first month. So check number 1509 for June. Okay. Invoice number, you can use your contract number, which was let's see, 5877411. 5877411. Okay. Post reference, once again, the journal transaction occurred on page 3 of my journal. No terms, but we know for one thing that the monthly insurance plans are going to be paid every 5th of the month, right? That's what it says right here, because if you paid today, that means the next round of payments is going to be due on the 5th of every month. So once again, this is another date-driven term. So we want to put 5th of the month. Okay? Now, we haven't received our first bill yet, but we did make our first payment anyway, right? Right? It was for $200 for the month of June. And you made a payment. Now, in this case, remember, you're not going to put that you owe $2,400 for a monthly plan, because in this case, that's what you agreed to, but you never said that you are going to owe this company, right? This company is based on if you pay, you get the services for the month. If you don't pay, then you don't get services for the month, right? It's pay as you go, right? It's not something that we're prepaying, and it's not something that we're going to pay later after we used it, right? In this case, we're going to be recording as we go, but we know that we've already built the plan, and of course with the plan, if it doesn't fit what you need for that month, you can always call the insurance plan to add more. So that's why this one is based on the usage, not based on buying a plan ahead of time and then pay them slowly, right? So in this case, with this one, is going to be month-to-month basis, where you're making payments every single month for the month that you're covering. So in this case, I'm just covering for the month of June. And I made a payment with the check number 1509. So we're going to go invoice amount minus prepaid minus returns minus discounts minus payments to get that we owe $0. Okay, so for the first month of June, you already paid your first $200 to auto insurance. So that means you should be expecting another one that's going to be due pretty soon for July 5th, okay? But you don't owe the auto insurance company any money. All right. So let's see what is next. Okay. Here it says you're going to do another purchase order for $305 to All Things Ceramics. You're going to be ordering 80 ceramic coffee mugs. Per unit price is $2.45. So total cost is going to be $196. A $100 down payment is required. So we want to order something and a down payment is required. So how do I record this transaction? Okay, what should I do first?
Your purchase order.
You need to fill your purchase order out first so then you can get that as your proof of transaction, right? So in this case, let's see, we are looking at purchase order number 305. Okay, here we are. Today is still Saturday? Today is still Saturday the 8th. Okay. Okay. Vendor, who are we ordering from?
All Things Ceramic.
All Things Ceramics. Okay. What are we ordering?
Mugs.
Mugs. How many?
80.
At the cost per item or the
$2.45.
unit price of $2.45. Whoops. So therefore, you should get your grand total of $196 even. Okay. Okay. 196 even. Okay. All right. So now that I have my purchase order number 305, okay, they require a down payment. Okay. So how do I journalize that I'm going to make a down payment?
Prepaid accounts and checking.
Prepaid accounts and checking. Good, right? Because in this case, I'm making an advance payment, right? And I'm going to use my check to pay for it because I don't have cash on hand, right? I'm going to be sending them a check, okay, for $100. Okay? So, go ahead and cut your check in the check register, right? Today is the 8th, right? So, we're using check number 1510. And it's going to be for $100. To whom?
All Things Ceramic.
All Things Ceramics. And what are you going to put? Down payment on mugs. Okay. So again, oftentimes vendors, again, they will require a down payment to ensure the commitment of your order, right? So that in case you cancel last minute, they don't lose anything out of it. Okay? So there you go. Okay? So we use check 1510 to go ahead and pay for the down payment for my mug. So again, who did I work with? All Things Ceramics. Okay. What was the proof that I ordered these 80 mugs and was required to put a down payment?
Your purchase order.
Purchase order 170305. Okay. If you want to put down payment on mugs, it's up to you. That's what I'm going to put. Down payment on mugs. Okay. And my proof that I made a payment was check number 1510. Now, again, we haven't received the bill yet, so we don't know what other information that we could put in there, right? Just making a note that we're making a down payment to All Things Ceramics for the purchase order, which is a down payment on mugs. Okay? Good. So, that is it for my journal. Okay? So, right, what always comes after the journal?
Ledger.
Your ledger. Correct, because this time we spent, again, more money. I selected the wrong one. Okay, here's your ledger. So we spent more money. So this one, yes, I'll be fine with you just doing the checking first and then do your prepaid after, because there's literally only 2 accounts. Okay, so this is okay to do so. Okay, so again, I wrote a check, 1510, general journal page 3, and I spent another $100. So therefore, I should be at 6902.42. Okay, 6902.42. And now I need to update my prepaid accounts because now I made another down payment. So that's going to go towards my bill. Okay, so let me locate prepaid accounts. Here I am. Today's the 8th, and what did I do? I made a down payment. Down to pay on purchase order number 170305. And I used check number 1510. Okay. We're on our journal page 3. And I'm going to increase my prepaid amount by that $100. Okay, so I'm in this case, what am I doing here is I'm buying a voucher. Okay, and when I receive my bill, then I take that voucher and I apply it to that bill. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm buying something in advance. I'm buying the voucher to tell me that I can use this voucher to apply on my bill. Okay, so in this case, that's exactly what I'm doing. And this should increase your account by $100. So you should be at 79,000 or 7,926.04. Okay, so you just increased it by another $100. Okay, and I now also need to do one last thing, which is to go to my subsidiary ledger because I made a payment to All Things Ceramics. They need to ensure that my payment went through and that they do send me my order, right? So in this case, that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to put in the date, and I'm going to make a note here, down payment, down pay on order of 80 mugs. Okay, and I use check number 1510 to pay. Okay, now my invoice number here, once again, it's very similar to Hallie Bros, right? Where I am going to use my purchase order because that's the proof of me requesting X amount of mugs. And it's and that's going to be my proof that I'm required to make a down payment. Okay, so post reference once again is your general journal page 3. Okay, so in this case, I'm not going to use my prepaid amounts yet because I'm going to treat that this purchase order was essentially a receipt that I received, right, telling me that I have to pay $100 right now. So in this case, that's exactly what I'm going to record. I'm going to record that this purchase order was in the amount of $100, right? and I paid it using my check 1510. Okay, so that should, with your formula, result in you having a zero balance because, right, we don't owe all things ceramics anything, right? We made a payment for what we were quoted for, and now on their books, now they owe me to sell the mugs to me. But in this case, remember, right, we don't care about what's on their books. We care about what's on our books, right? Our books says that we ordered 80 mugs and we made a down payment. That's all you need to record. Okay? Right? All right, any questions so far?
Not for me.
Okay. So there you go. That one is done because we filled in our purchase order. We did our journal, we did our ledger, we did our subsidiary ledger. We cannot do our inventory yet because one, all we did was simply order our inventory. Have we ever received our inventory?
No.
No, so that means we do not need to use our inventory worksheet because we have yet to receive the inventory in the first place. Okay? All right, so here, the next transaction here is we end up receiving from furniture store, okay, our bistro tables and chairs, okay? So this is invoice number 75. We received the 10 bistro chair set. So again, it comes with one table and two chairs. Here it says that the tax that was charged for 8.25% yielded $499.58, and the shipping here was $50. Okay. Okay. So now that I received a bill, right, what do I do with this bill? How do I record that this transaction has happened?
First, you're going to go to your. Do you go to your purchase order and highlight that you received it?
You can do that for sure. This first thing that you want to do, okay? So I'm going to go to my purchase orders to say that I received my items. Okay. So in this case, I'm looking for my 10 sets of bistro tables and chairs. Here we are, purchase order number 304. Okay. We did receive our order, right? What day did we receive this order?
On the 8th.
On the 8th. And what was my invoice number?
Number 75.
Number 75. So there you go. I confirmed that I received the order. So I still have a couple transactions, or I have one more purchase order that I already made a long time ago for the coffee brewer and coffee grinder, and I just submitted an order for inventory. So those are the only two things that I'm pending right now. Okay.
All right, so then you go to your general journal and you're going to have your accounts, which are going to be bistro tables and chairs, and your accounts payable.
Good, right? Because we're going to assume I'm not going to pay $6,000 right now. I barely even have enough in my bank right now for that. So in this case, I need to make sure I need to save that money in case I have other expenses that I need to prioritize first. And then I'm going to take advantage of this payment, right? So in this case, let's see, where is my bistro tables and chairs? Right here, account number 13010, bistro tables and chairs. Okay. And we already know what accounts payable is. Okay. Now, how much is the total cost of my bistro tables and chairs?
It is your $6,605.08.
660508. Okay. And you should have all the information you need to be able to fill in the rest of your description. Okay. So in this case, we received our order from furniture store. We know that because we have proof that we purchased our bistro tables, okay, by invoice number 75. It's up to you what you want to say. Tables and chairs are pretty straightforward. You can disclose the quantity later on in your subsidiary ledger or your assets, right? So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and just put in that how many days is this bill due in? What terms did they give me?
Terms net 15.
Okay, terms are net 15. Okay. Okay. So now I need to do what?
Go to your general ledger.
Okay, right. I
Remember the
acquired a
bistro tables and chairs.
Yes.
It's all the way towards the top.
Yeah. I was struggling to figure out whether I go up or down. Okay, so in this case it's at the top. All
There you
right, here they are, bistro tables and chairs. All right, you know for a fact that you bought 10 sets. 10 sets, and then you can put parentheses 1 table, 2 chairs. Okay, for what was it? 605.55 each, right? So that got you a grand total of the 6055.50 plus 8.25% tax, which gave you, what was that, $499.50 some cents. $499.58, and then $50 worth of shipping. what was my invoice post reference, general journal page 3. And this is a 660508. 660508. It's going to be on my debit side. Okay. And of course, because I decided to pay later and take advantage of the terms, I need to now update my liabilities because now I owe more money to furniture store. Okay, so in this case, invoice number 75. Okay. I'm on the 3rd journal now. Okay. And then I need to add to my credit because now I'm increasing what I owe, right? I'm increasing it by $6,055.08. Okay? So that's going to bring your value up to a total of $9,483.75. That does not look right. 66666. Oh, it's 6605. Oh, that's what I thought. 6605. 660508. Okay, let me double confirm that I put that in my assets correct. 660508, yes. Okay, so there you go. $10,033.75. That is correct.
Are we now doing the subsidiary?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so again, this is to furniture store. Right, we should have already 2 entries in furniture store. And now we're going to put a 3rd one. Okay? So for furniture store, you're going to put the same information in there. It's going to be 10 sets of 1 table, 2 chairs, which were 100. Which was at what, 605
50.
50 each, which yield you a total of $6,055.
It was actually 605.55.
605
55. So that one is, and that one's
6,005. Yeah.
55 and 50 cents.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to get at.
So the it's at 605.55.
Okay. And then plus the 8.25% tax, which gave you $499.58, plus the $50 shipping. Okay. You need to know this because if you do end up returning some stuff, you need to be able to know how to calculate what you're returning because you can't return shipping, right? That's why I didn't just put the whole entire price value in there divided by 10, right? I need to make sure I need to know what I am dealing with. Okay? So in this case, right, invoice number 75, general journal page 3. And this time I still get net 15. So again, since I received it a day later on the 8th, plus 15 means I'm going to have to pay it by the 23rd of June. Okay? For the total amount of 6605.08. Okay? And I didn't make any payments to it. So again, if I run my formula, it should say that I owe for this bill for $6,605.08, which gives me a grand total of all three of my bills. Gives me a grand total of $9,033.75. So that's a lot that you owe to Furniture Store. Now again, you can choose to make payments one at a time per bill, or you can choose to pay the entire thing off in one check. Yes, you do have the ability to do that. And we will see examples of that later on. Okay? Right? So, good. All right, so we did my journal. We updated the purchase order. Yes. We did the journal. We did the ledger. And we did the subsidiary ledger. So now we can go ahead and be done with this transaction. Okay. So next. Okay. So now you're on the 10th June Monday. So we skipped Sunday, right? Maybe we needed a break. And the first thing you have to do is we need to make a payment to Kim Robinson for $1,000. Okay? So we need to pay Kim Robinson for $1,000. Okay? So how do we make a payment to Miss Kim Robinson?
Accounts payable and checking.
In this case, yes, because what did we do here? If you check your subsidiary ledger, right? Because yes,
Gave us 3 days.
she gave us 3 days, right? So that's exactly what we need the subsidiary ledger for, is to confirm, one, what was the invoice number? Because that's proof that we are paying for something that we're paying for, right? And then two, we're going to verify what amounts we're going to be paying. Now, in this case, one thing that we have to ensure too is $1,000 all we owe to Kim Robinson? What if we had multiple bills from Kim Robinson? What if you're only supposed to pay one of the bills out of the total amount of bills that you are looking for? That is exactly why we need to use the subsidiary ledger, for that reason being. Now, as you can see right here, it does say that we received it on the 7th for the interior designing for $1,542 is the invoice, and she gave us 3 days, so it's due on the 10th. So we're going to go ahead and make that payment for $1,000, because in this one, this tells me I have an accounts payable. Okay. So let's go ahead, and we've already know exactly what accounts. Now, how am I going to pay? How am I going to pay?
Have a check.
We're gonna write a check, right? No one's gonna stuff $1,000 in an envelope and send it out, right? So in this case, we're gonna do the proper way, which is to write a check. So in this case, we're gonna pay Miss Kim Robinson, right? Because we owed her on an account, right? And we are going to pay with a check. Okay. And so accounts payable is $20,000, right? Checking is $10,100, and We're making a check out for $1,000. Okay, $1,000. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut our check so we can assign the check number to what we're making a payment for. So in this case, check register. Okay, so here we're going to be using check number 1511, and we're going to write it out for $1,000. And to whom am I making this payment to?
Kim Robinson.
Kim Robinson. Okay, and what for? And you can either choose to say pay bill or whatever. Okay, pay bill invoice number 1542. Whatever you want to put. Or you could say pay for interior designing. Whatever. Okay. So there you go. I cut my check for number 1511 for that $1,000. Okay. And now I should have every piece of information for me to go ahead and fulfill the description, right? Because I know what I did here, right? I made a payment to Miss Kim Robinson. Okay? Why did I make a payment to Kim Robinson? Because I owed her money, right? How do I know I owed her money? Through the invoice, right? 1542. That's also another reason why we need to go into our subsidiary ledger to be sure which bill we're making a payment to, right? In this case, I'm coding it to the invoice number 1542. Like I said, if we had multiple invoices or multiple bills, how do you know which one you're going to pay? You should make an association that I'm making a payment to this exact invoice. Okay? And, right, I'm also going to put a note here that I paid with check number 1511. Okay? That's all I need to do. That's good, sufficient information right there. Okay? If you want to have to put that consultation fee, it is up to you. At this end of the day, you already know what you're paying for, right? You already recorded the consultation fee to begin with when you received the bill in the first place. So in this case, this bill right here, or this invoice number 1542, should be sufficient enough information for you to look up to know exactly what happened. Right? So now that I have my journal complete, I now need to update my ledger because I spent more money. Okay? I cut another check. Okay? So here I have to reduce my accounts payable because I debited this time, right? Instead of crediting my accounts payable, right? That means I'm choosing to decrease it. So here it is the 10, okay? Invoice number 1542. And I'm going to go ahead and make a note here that I am making a payment using check number 1511, okay? This, instead of, because like for what I really originally put it in here first, right? I put this is going to be invoice number 1542 because my coding system is I'm using the invoice number to have proof that I owe money, right? But because I'm making a payment to it, I'm also going to put the proof that I made a payment to it. And then this is going to be General Journal page 3. And I'm making a payment on the debit side for $1,000 because I'm paying for what I owe. If I'm paying for what I owe, that means I no longer owe that money anymore, right? I'm lowering and decreasing the amount that I owe. So in this case, right, this should give you, if you have your formula in here correctly, where you have you're adding your credits and you're subtracting your debits here, it should automatically calculate that you have $9,033.75 left that you owe, right? Which is all these 3 payments were to furniture store, right? That exact amount, $9,033.75, right? So there you go, right? And of course, we also need to update our checking account because, again, we spent more money. All right, so here's my checking account. Today is the 10th, and this time I wrote another check, 1511, for General Journal page 3, which is going to decrease my account again by $1,000. Okay? So that should drop it down to $5,902.42. So already we're barely a week and a half in. We started out with $30,000 and now we're down to our last $5,000. So that is exactly why you don't pay your bills right away when you're starting your company, because of the idea is you might have to incur other things that it might be priority first because you're still trying to set up your business. Oftentimes you might have to borrow extra money, or you might even have to charge your credit card a lot until you can be able to set up your store and be able to generate that income to pay back either your credit cards or the people that you owe, right? So that is exactly very typical of a business if you're trying to set it up, right? That you're spending, because ultimately we haven't even purchased our inventory yet. We haven't even purchased any of the supplies to be able to produce what we're trying to sell to our customers, right? So in this case, right, we do need to keep that money in our bank for that reason, right? So now that I did my journal and I posted to my ledger, right, I now need to do my subsidiary ledger. Now, how am I going to show you how to use the ledger here? Because now I made a payment. You have 2 options here. Now, let me show you option 1, okay? Option 1 says that I can go ahead and edit this exact transaction to include that payment of that check and just go ahead and write it in here that I made a payment for $1,000. And that will clear out the debt that you have here, right? It will clear out that you don't owe anything to this bill. But what happens with this is this leaves out a lot of extra information, such as when you paid, and then of course the journal that you're on. You're not on journal number 2 anymore. You're on journal number 3 to make the payment. So there are a couple of factors that you want to avoid from doing that, because in this case, you're missing a lot of pertinent information that is very important to your transaction here. So what I recommend you to do is keep that value right there in your that $1,000 that you owe in that box right there, okay, in your accounts payable. What I want you to do is I want you to enter in another transaction to represent that this transaction this time is you paying your liability, right? The first one here is that you receive the bill and that you're generating this liability. You're creating it, right? So now the next transaction here is going to be you're going to pay the liability, okay? So this is what I'm going to do. This time, the date is different, right? We already know that. It's the 10th that we're on. And here, I'm going to note that I'm making a payment and that my proof of the payment is check number 1511. Now, to which invoice I'm making a payment to is 1542. That way, you're linking that I'm making this payment to the invoice 1542. Okay? General journal, right? We're no longer on page 2 anymore, right? We are now on page 3. Okay? You don't have terms because you're making a payment, right? And what you have to do is, well, what did you do? all you simply did was simply make a payment, right, of $1,000. You do not need to put any other extra information in here. Why? Because you already assumed that you already plugged in your invoice amount to let you know how much you owe. This time, you're simply just doing the second transaction as your payment. Now, if you did the formula correct, right? I'm going to repeat it right now, okay? Where you took the invoice amount, right? You subtracted prepaid, subtracted returns and allowances, subtract discounts, subtract payments, right? If I don't have an invoice amount in here, that means it's going to pretend it's zero, right? Zero minus prepaid, minus returns, minus discounts, minus payments. So therefore, that should give me a negative amount in my accounts payable column, which is true, right? You are paying your accounts payable negative $1,000. So therefore, at the bottom here where you have total, will decrease your total account balance with Kim Robinson. Okay, again, remember this was equal sum, right? To tally up all the numbers here in this column, right? So if I didn't make a payment, then I owe $1,000. But because I made a payment, I'm going to put that into my payment column, which will give me a negative amount in my formula, which 1,000 plus a negative 1,000 is going to give you your account balance to be zero. This is going to be much more easier for other people to read your books, and this is also going to be an easier way to manage and keep a good track record of your vendors, right? Of your payments, because this one gives you an actual track record, right? You know on the 7th that you received a bill, and you know on the 10th that you paid the bill. Okay? Yes, it's a little tedious. Yes, it's more work involved. But at the end of the day, this gives you a much more clear vision of what transaction had happened with this particular vendor, right? So that's exactly why QuickBooks, if you looked at QuickBooks and look at the transactions, right? You're literally going to see bill payment, estimate, bill, right? You're going to see it go like this, exactly how it is right here. But this is us generating that list right there for your account balances for your individual vendors, right? So this is an example of how a bill payment works and how we use it in the subsidiary ledger to get our vendor account balance. Here, the record is I owed money. Here, the record now is that I made a payment, so therefore I owe Kim Robinson $0. And that's what I want you to do for the subsidiary ledger, unless you prefer to do scenario number 1. Go ahead, be my guest. You could do whatever you want. Now, another thing that you could also do is I'm going to also color code this so then I know that this bill has been paid, right? Now you can color code it whatever you want. I'm going to go ahead and use green because green means it's good to go. This bill has been paid. So that means there you go. I paid a bill. That means I should owe $1,000 less to my total overall liabilities. Okay? So therefore, I'm confirming that I made a payment. And this is going to be very useful and helpful to you, especially when you occur many bills. So for example, furniture store, right? We have 3 bills going on, right? Where's furniture store? Furniture store, right? You have 3 bills going on. What if you need to pay 1 bill at a time? Then you can highlight it and color it any color you want to ensure that you made a payment for that particular bill. That will help you keep even more organized in a sense of that. So in this case, for example, this, not this one. I have no idea where my furniture store is. But anyways, yes. Right? Okay? So that is how I want you to go ahead and use that subsidiary ledger. Okay. All right. So now that I finally made a payment to Kim Robinson, that's all I have to do. Yes.
I apologize. I wasn't paying attention. Your director or our director of the school had me talk to a student here, so I apologize.
No worries. So do you need me to go back?
If you could just show me the things, let me see where I left off at. I was at